Hello, it's Mark, and today we're going to do another whiskey review. Today I have Barrell, which is a company out of Kentucky, I believe, and they're basically a blender, and they just blend different kinds of, they don't really distill anything by themselves. They source their whiskey and blend it, and I believe it's all at cask strength. I'm not positive about that, but I'm pretty sure. So this is the Seagrass. This is the 16-year-old. I believe that some of the whiskey, the minimum in there I think is 16, but I believe there's some in there that's over 20 years old. So it's a pretty heavy cork anyway, and this is 65.41% ABV. There are 4,749 bottles of it. It's actually Canadian rye in here. It's all Canadian, where the other Seagrass was a mixture of Canadian and American, but this is strictly Canadian. And it's finished in Madeira, Martinique rum, and Apricot Brandy barrels. So, anyway, they did do a regular Seagrass that was not aged quite as long, and as I said, that was both a mixture of Canadian and American rye with the same Apricot Brandy and Martinique rum and Madeira casks in the finish. So anyway, I guess I can go ahead and show it to you. There it is in the bottle. Let me show you the bottle. All right, and in the glass. So, all right. There's not much on here really to read, so I will read what little there is. It says, distilled in Canada, this limited 16-year-old edition of Seagrass rye incorporates some of our oldest, rarest stocks. 3 different blends were constructed and each finished its separate set of barrels. It is bottled at cask strength so you can appreciate its true flavor. So then they did a parallel aging on that. So, okay. And pretty much I've read to the front to you already. Okay, there is nothing on the box. Okay. So, let's get into the nose, shall we? This hat is kind of jacked up. All right. Okay, 130 proof seems, I wouldn't have guessed that. Very fruity. Oh, I didn't even roll this, did I? I was wondering, it wasn't very intense, so I was like, okay, yeah, I didn't roll it. Okay, now it smells more like 65% ABV. I'm getting some smoke in there. Unless it was my smoker blowing in this direction. Yeah, because it's gone now. Getting the rye, cardamom, getting that cardamom seed in there. Getting some caramel, dill, typical, a lot of kind of common rye. The rye, though, is a rye bread. I can get a little bit of the rum, the sweetness in the back, some caramel. Getting a little bit of dill. That's dill. little grassy. Yeah, some grassy note to it. Apples, maybe pears, that apricot brandy, caraway seeds for sure. A little bit of, yeah, some caramel, like, what is that? Almost like bell pepper. Some grapes. I'm getting some grapes, and I guess that's probably the Madeira. So, all right, enough of this. Onto the palate. Wow. So much in there. Wow. Get the apricot brandy for sure. There is certainly a rye, the spiciness. There's black pepper. Lemon citrus. Like grapefruit, maybe bitter grapefruit. A lot of licorice. Some sweet red fruit, some sweet berries, like cherries. Nice. Oh, wow, the apricot brandy really comes through on that. Like a tobacco. There's a tobacco note to it. This is really, really complex. I mean, there is just, I get rye spice, I get black pepper, I get the apricot brandy, I get the citrus, I get licorice, red berries. There is just all, this is really, really, really complex. Okay, more caramel comes through now. Maybe even toffee. Oh, it smells even sweeter, but different. Not so much rum sweet as it is like caramel and toffee sweet now. Some cinnamon. Yeah, not as much rye spice now. Apricots, sweet apricots, not like dried apricots. This is like juicy, juicy apricot. I'm not getting much of that oak anymore either. This is incredible. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm getting, yeah, some of that sugar is coming through now. So, all right, last one. Then we got to rate this thing, and it's going to be hot. It's hard to keep it in your mouth for 16 seconds, but ooh, spicy, peppery, raspberries. That's the red berry I'm getting. It's raspberry. Apricot, lemon citrus, grapefruit, and then it kind of finishes with this licorice note and more, and that Madeira kind of dried grape comes in at the end, like a raisin. So, wow, fantastic. At 250 bucks, it's really high for a rye, but it is 16 years old. So really, I mean, there's plenty of scotches out there at 16 years that, you know, you're going to pay a pretty penny for. So I don't know how now 250, that's probably a little higher than you're going to, but where are you going to get this? This needs to be on your shelf. Wow, this is incredible. I'm going to go with a 10, perfect score. awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, give it a like, and we will see you next time.